Right, what's it for? How much is it for?
1800.
18.
No, like, but we're going to flip or yeah, no problem. Yeah. Alright, pal. Alright, see you later, mate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start our game against Neil Wenlock and Dale Woodhouse for 1800 at Wildrose. Today on the commentary box we have myself, which is Joshua Yates, and my friend, which is Lee Formals. Would you like to say hi?
Hi everyone. Another good match for you here tonight, I think. Neil and Dale, both quality players. Should be a very even contest as well. Both playing at a high standard for quite a long time at the moment now. So I think we should have a really good game. Can you pick a winner at this stage, then, Josh?
I'm not quite sure, because from previous experience what I've seen in Dale Woodhouse, he's a very good putter and a very good tactical player, but obviously as we know, the last few games that Neil's played on this live stream, he has actually won, so it's going to be a very good game all round.
So Neil to break in. Yellow potted off the break. What's he going for here, Josh?
See, reds look a little bit easier right now, they just seem a bit more open. Yellows are too tied up in the top right bag for me.
I think both sets of balls are quite difficult here. I think it'll be whether that bottom of the two yellows, you see tight to the middle of the table, if that pot's in the middle bag, I think he'll be taking yellows.
See, it's a little bit timing. He can get behind him and take it to the opposite middle bag, but he's going to need a good white ball position for that, but personally I think he'll be taking reds.
Of course, obviously he takes yellows. Where does his first yellow come from?
Exactly, been making too much work for himself straight away. He wants to keep it nice and simple, to get his own one.
Well, he does have this yellow, the top yellow in the table as we look. I think this plays into the top right bag. And he's looking at the plant here, I think he is. It's a risky shot. If he gets this, it will open the whole frame up for him.
Yeah, he's just nominated yellows as well, so he's definitely going for yellow.
Great
Very
shot.
well shot.
I'm the line of this shot here. This is extremely tight. I don't think it goes. I'm not sure. Yeah, the bottom one definitely does go. Well, I think Neil's taken these opening few yellows here very well.
Yeah, he's taking these out nice and simple as well, as he does.
Oh, he's controlled that very nicely. It's very easy to lose a cue ball with that much angle. Well, what a start there from Neil. Fantastic clearance, fantastic breaking dish to open his account tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Neil's already nice and warmed up. I don't think Dale's going to let that go down lightly. I think Dale's going to start pushing back straight away. Dale's going to go after a breaking dish on this one just to put Neil back in his place.
Yeah, Dale will obviously be looking to respond straight away from this. Obviously, it's how the balls break. But still, I think the balls were quite difficult there, and Neil took them out very nicely. And as we said, that Planty took a very aggressive shot to start with, opened the whole frame up for him.
Yeah, I mean, that Planty obviously could have gone all the wrong, but he didn't nominate yellows anyway, and one day go off the break, so it would have been yellows regardless. And to be fair, I think reds were actually still quite simple to finish, so if he did miss, I think Dale might have took them out, but let's see how well Dale's actually playing.
I think the beauty of the shot Neil played there was the way he played that. He played it very, very gently, and just left the cue ball in a perfect position in the middle of those three difficult yellows. And so we had options, which is same as in snooker, obviously. With break building, you want to leave yourself options.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you on that.
One of each potted off the break.
So here's one of them a bit harder again. I mean, obviously if you dominate yellows, I think you might be able to force the plant at the right side of the bag, run them two yellows into the bottom bag.
I would certainly think yellows are the balls here. I think even if that isn't a straight plant, it's going to be one of those in or over shots. Later on, well,
looks like it's going for reds. Reds didn't play.
Well, he obviously feels more confident with reds. Now I can't see from this angle here, but this red below the black, this is what he's looking at now, to see if this passes.
Still not quite sure from that angle, if I'm honest.
I don't think it does from here. I think the bottom of the two yellows is blocking the pass to the corner pocket. Now if it is, I think Dale should have already looked at this before. Well, the way he's played that tells me, unless he's coming for this one in the top left corner.
So you might go for the one in the top, put a bit of stuff out, screw back on the white, bring it back down, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he has that option here. I think he might have the angle. Yes, I think he's just off straight to the left-hand side as we look.
So I wonder if he's thinking if he can pot that red off the cushion, off the other red near the bottom back.
Yeah, possibly. That's a very, very tricky shot here. You have to get it exactly right.
He's trying to put some power on this as well to get the white ball back out. Yeah, there you go, very good shot.
Great shot there from Dale. Just gotta be careful with the cue ball here. Looks like we're going between those two yellows. Yeah, he's controlled that nicely. Maybe left himself a few inches short of pace there. Brought the cue ball off the side cushion. He's got a very nice angle here though to...
Yeah, just like I say, it's just the fact that you can't put any bottom on this now. And, well, you don't want to be hanging in that black and pushing it into the yellows. That's for sure.
Maybe he's a bit too straight on this, and obviously he can't see the bottom of the cue ball, so it's going to be very difficult for him to stun it. Yeah, so he's having to jack the back of his cue up a little bit.
So you didn't want that. I mean, I've been half tempted, even though it's a harder shot, to go for the bottom red first. Just because from there you're always going to be kind of like pushing black safe, and obviously you're not guaranteed white. So I mean, he has got a deep chance for a double into the middle or something.
I think it was a shot before that cost him there really.
Yeah, he shouldn't have left himself on the cushion, definitely.
Yeah, if he'd been able to see the bottom half of the cue ball there, he'd obviously been able to have a lot more options than what he did. And might have had to stun down the table or screw off the cushion, give himself a lot more angle to get onto that last red. And obviously the black went into the right middle, so now he's struggling for options here. What would you be looking at here, Josh?
I don't know, I think the other thing I'd be coming is to do is come off this side cushion over here and try and push that red off the bag, and at least try and just protect that bag. Potting it would be absolutely useless right now. Seeing that's probably the best he could do from there, at least try and protect that bag as much as possible.
Yeah, I think Dale will expect himself to be in trouble when he comes back to the table here. I don't think Neil's going to be looking at a clearance here with that red blocking the path to those three yellows.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go for a snooker.
And Neil's just said this is not touching at the top cushion here, so shows what he's going to play.
and he's done that quite nicely. See, the good thing for Neil is that red's not completely over the back, and there is a slight gap, so Neil still has the opportunity to play that plant with them two yellows above it, or he's got the yellow in the middle of the table, but you could slip past the red off the cushion.
Well, I've got a very risky shot for you here actually. If he was to plant these two yellows now towards that bottom corner, if he played it dead weight, just to nestle the yellow onto the cushion, the white looks like it very possibly could stick on the yellow to the left of that bunch of three, or on the left of that bunch of three even.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, let's just see what happens here, because Dale might disturb them yellows, try and get out of the snooker.
Yeah, I think obviously we're playing world rules here today, so Dale might be looking at a DF here, a deliberate foul. I think possibly there is an option of pushing the black down the cushion over the red, might be or behind the red slightly even, because then Neil has a very difficult clearance and you'd say Dale has control of the frame. Well,
yeah, he's just trying to push his ball safe there and just comfort the DF. I mean, he don't want to disturb that back, so he knows that right now at least he's in control of that bottom right back where he still has three yellows dominated, but Neil could play one nice little shot here and get that red out of the way, put the red into, bang into the middle of the cushion on the bottom, put that red safe.
I suppose he's not played a too bad a shot there. He's not gained anything from the shot really. It's just handing the table time back over to Neil here. Give him the problem really. Neil has two shots here. Still a very difficult clearance even with two.
So yeah, I think Neil's once again he might look at trying to slip one of these yellows past that red and move that red out of the way. Because if he does, then it's an open game.
Well, this now, in fact, actually with two shots, the shot that I described earlier, Neil has the freedom to play that shot now.
Yeah,
he
but
can play
obviously
the
don't
shot.
want to nestle it in too much, do you want to end up leaving himself buggered. So he's definitely looking at plans still.
But obviously now, Neil can play this a bit harder. He has no worry about leaving the red on. He has another shot here. So Neil has a lot of freedom. I think if Neil gets this right, he should win the frame.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worked out too bad. Obviously, he ain't got the pot like he wanted to, but he might still be able to get this yellow into the corner bag.
I think it still goes, or does it? The way he's queuing at it, maybe. Or he's looking for a snooker, possibly. It's a very easy snooker here for him to get.
No, it went. A very good shot.
Did go. So, I think looking the way the ball is situated now, you'd back Neil to clear these, and...
Well, yeah, because he can pot this yellow now. He might try and force it through and get the black off the cushion.
I think Neil, I think Dale, excuse me, not doing more with his deliberate foul might cost him the frame here. Well, like I said, if he'd have looked at tying the black up, that would have given him some more insurance, done something with his shot. As it is now, he's done nothing, handed the opportunity for Neil to find the clearance, so it looks like this is what he's going to do here. All he needs to do is find the right angle on his last yellow.
Oh, wow.
Not exactly what's happening there.
Yeah, we're trying to leave himself that angle. I mean, the angle on the yellow was absolutely perfect to pot this and get straight behind black. The way we were queuing into it, he was just pushing the white ball off.
He just tried a little drag shot, and unfortunately for Neil, went wrong, didn't cue through it properly. This black to level up the match.
Right, so down, straight down the cushion.
Yeah, it's well taken from Dale, no mistakes there when given the opportunity.
Yeah, unfortunate for that. I mean, like I say, I think he just brought the white a bit too far up. If he didn't hit it as hard and didn't bring it as far up, that should have been easy for him, but like I said, because we were trying to keep on for the last yellow, he just nudged the white obviously to one side as he skewed into it.
Well, the way Neil was queuing in that first frame, I didn't think he'd be missing balls like that, really.
That'll be the first dry break of today. Hopefully not of many. We would like to see quite a few break conditions obviously to keep the game nice and interesting and keep it fast paced, but I do know both of them do have a bit of tactics behind them, so I'm expecting also at some point for things to slow down.
Yeah, both players play a lot of world rules. Dale probably plays more world rules these days. not really a black ball player, I suppose it's fair to say, for Dale.
Yeah, I think Dale's been more into wheel rules, and I think he's stuck with wheel rules. I mean, obviously we know that Neil plays a bit of black ball, a bit of wheel rules. He just plays whatever he fancies at the time. I think Dale wanted to play wheel rules, so obviously that's why we've selected these rules for today.
Difficult to say, but yeah, I think if you had to pick, you'd probably say Dale has the advantage on the tactical side for wheel rules.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious to see that Dale obviously has a lot more experience in the wheel rule side of things, but once again, if he prefers these rules to black ball, if you don't play a black ball that much, then he's definitely going to have a stronger tactics game, or you'd assume he would. But at the same time, if Neil likes to play a lot of black ball, then you'd assume that Neil's got the better potting game to suit it. It's a bit of hit and miss this game now, it could go either way. Neil should be making this finish look easier. These look quite open for him to take out.
Yeah, I mean there's potential couple of problem balls, but I think the two balls just below the black, I think they both pot cleanly in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, I mean if he gets this one into the middle bag now, he's got the one into the bottom left corner, what you've just mentioned, to shift it out of the way.
Yep, that would make sure he's taking this one first.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know how we're going to say, I think it's because if he rolls this one in, the one on the bottom right, then the one second underneath the black does go into the middle bag, what you might have looked at a bit.
I like the shot Neil's played there actually, he's given himself options again. He, this yellow that he's just taken out there in the middle of the table was a bit awkward because obviously in the middle of the table there it's one that we'd have to have got position on later in the frame, and he could have run out of position and perhaps moved the cue ball past those two reds and snookered himself on the prodding angle. Just a little stun shot here.
Yeah, he's done that nice. Don't want to leave the white touching black, he's going to have to push through a little bit. There you go. Ooh, didn't want to land it there though. I mean, it's still alright, as long as he gets the pot in, then black's easily on. But
the keyboard's naturally coming on and off the cushion just to leave himself a very simple black in the middle, I think.
yeah, he's got it.
Well, looked like he miscued that a little bit to me. As you said, he only needs to drop the yellow in to leave himself on the black. Yeah, no mistakes. Bit of a dead break there. The balls didn't seem to split very well. Perhaps the balls weren't wrapped as tight as they normally are.
So yes, the only problem is I think this one might be one of the tactical frames. Obviously Neil's going to be looking at taking reds due to the fact that there's the one at the bottom right.
Yeah, I mean there's the balls in the middle of the table there are obviously very tricky, but if Neil pots this red, he's in firm control of the frame. Yeah. So now he has, didn't want to finish there. Well, I think because of where those two yellows are, in the bottom right hand corner of the table, I think perhaps Neil has a free shot here to be able to develop this difficult red and the black out.
See, if I were Dale here, I'd be looking at some time trying to do a DF. Try and push his yeller over the back. I mean, he's got that red nicely snuggled up between three of his yellers now. Might as well try and gain control of that back completely. Black's over that back as well, so he could really do with it.
I think Dale's in a bad shape here, obviously. Neil's red there in that cluster of yellows is in a very difficult position. I think ultimately, if that situation remains towards the end of the frame, will result in a DF. Dale plants that red onto the yellow, into the corner pocket, leaving the yellow over the corner pocket and the red in the cluster. If I was Neil, I'd be looking to get that red out.
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier about the DF. It was always going to happen at that point.
Yeah, that DF looked a certainty from Dale at some point over that frame. Over this frame. Perhaps Neil should have looked at trying to perhaps do a DF himself, preempt that happening and get that red out. I think Neil's in a lot of trouble here. It's going to be very difficult for him to get this red out of this situation and still leave a difficult clearance or a difficult ball for Dale.
Yeah, I think Neil's best option here is probably try and push some more reds out towards that bottom right back. Just try and mess it up as much as possible by doing that. Not sure he wanted that, no. He put his hand up, so sorry, but still a good shot.
Yeah, I don't know if Neil was really looking for that there. I think he was perhaps just handing the problem back to Dale. I think both players are going to want the other player to manoeuvre this difficult red and yellow on the bottom cushion first. Well, I think Neil has to do something with this red now. Another possibility, if he pushes the black onto the red, okay, maybe it doesn't resolve the situation for him, but it ties the frame up even more. He just gets this red out. I think you can see the top side of the ball here. I think he could leave the frame wide open for Dale.
So I think what he's looking at, I think if he is, from what we see the right side of the red, I think he can push it out, maybe hit the black as well to push both balls out in the same shot. And yeah, got that red in the middle back as an insurance shot. Well, once again, he's got to get the white out as well. It's not going to be easy for him then.
I think he might also, as an alternative, I don't think it's really the right shot to be honest, but he might have the angle to pop this red in the left middle pocket and then come round and disturb these two. No, he's looking at this shot here. Well, see, this was the problem with that shot. He's left the frame.
He's opening up a bit. I don't know if he can get it. I think it's got to go into the middle back.
Yeah. Well, this is very tricky here. Tricky little finish, but I think if he can see that one in the middle pocket, which I don't know if he can.
So he's just wondering if he passes this now where the white ball went. Because last thing he wants to do is run straight past him 3 yards and snooping himself. So he's hopefully going to try and canyon into the 2 yellows next to the red.
Be careful if he catches this yellow just above the red on the right hand side of the ball. Looks like it could go in off the other yellow. Well, that's actually not a bad result at all there for Neil.
Yeah, I think that's probably works out a lot better for him, to be honest.
I think he couldn't have Kind of plays the balls better really with his hand if he wanted to then.
He's definitely not left Dale a straight finish.
No, I mean obviously there is a finish on still for Dale. This yellow on the left hand side cushion will, if he gets the right position, be a relatively easy double into the right middle pocket. Control of the cue ball and the cannon nicely then. Give himself lots of options. But I really do think he will have to at some point take the double on this yellow on the left hand side.
Or he might try and find a ball to work angle outs to develop an angle instead.
Yeah, possibly. I wonder if you can see on the angle, on the side angle, if this yellow on the right hand, over right hand middle is in the way of the double. I don't think so. I think it's double's quite cleanly past that.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that yellow still played because
He's looking at this double now. Great shot.
he's left himself a little bit straight on the shoulder and what he wanted to mill back. So Boston's now has a good chance to leave the white on the side cushion.
I think the yellow is close enough to the pocket and he has enough angle that he can play it with a little bit of pace. Put a bit of screw on the cue ball here, bring it back just off the cushion. Obviously it's very difficult to tell from our angle here, and again these middle pockets, if you hit anything in with pace, it can be very difficult.
Obviously penalty, but once again we don't want to leave the white on the cushion again because this is a tricky black. That was right on it.
Well, I mean, again it's very difficult to tell exactly how much angle he had there and if he could have confidently played that ball with pace, but as you said, that was the problem, leaving himself on the cushion, left himself a very hard shot to be able to pot his final yellow and get on the black. Still, I think he probably should have got it, really.
Good shot there, man.
Yeah, they can go wrong, those ones. Play that very nicely.
Just got a little bit short, but it should still be easy for him.
Mistakes there, taking out those last three balls. I think perhaps Neil's looking the more confident of the two players here today.
Yeah, well, what we've seen is also surprised me in the second half clearances, he always seems to leave himself one tricky shot on the cushion. So his white ball position in the play is not very good right now. But obviously, as the game progresses, he might develop that a bit more. Neil might start losing it, he might start building upwards. We'll see as it goes on.
So red down off Neil's break then. Yep, and he's nominated yellows. Is this cut in? Double or snooker?
Snooker it is.
Well,
Very nice.
You were saying perhaps Dale might have a tactical advantage in this match. Neil has shown a very controlled side there. Not even beginning to attempt any sort of finish. Made sure he was on yellow. Well, yeah, made sure he was on yellows as the red went down off the break.
I think from Dale's best option is probably just to snuggle the white up to the top cushion, to roll back down again and just leave it touching the yellow as close as possible. Next week, play black instead.
Yep. Again, handing the problem back to Neil, forcing him to waste one of his 2 shots here.
But saying that, Neil might be confident to get this out as an opportunity. Neil is on drugs, but fucking cool.
That was a very good effort from Neil there. Very good effort.
He's just tied black up a bit more than what he wanted to do. I mean, he's still got control of the game. I mean, the bottom left bag is completely covered with his yellows. The black is now tied up with one of his yellows. So, he just depends what he does with his next shot, because I don't think he'll spot the one at the top bag just yet. But it depends if he can get the white somewhere safe, because I don't think he's going to go for a pop from him.
Neil looking at a 3-ball punt.
He is, and that's a very nice shot.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, another good shot there. I mean, he has left down one shot on the red, but I don't think he can do much with it.
I think Dale's only option there, he thought, was to try and force him to take his easy ball, which is, I suppose, at the moment Neil's get out of jail free card. He falls into a trouble position.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance he might try and take this one over the one directly above that red net. If you can cut that across, you don't actually have to put it, you can just put it over the bag. But it's a good chance he'll disturb the yellow on the bottom cushion as well. But you just don't want him to go in off by accident.
I don't think the enough will be on here. Going over nicely. Well, I said the enough's not on. Not in the middle bag.
Almost, very, very almost.
Well, obviously, Neil judging the way to the table very well. I think he'll be looking at the yellow just below the black here. Well, yeah, I still think he will be. Take this, then it seems a simple path to take out the next 2 yellows on the bottom cushion. So ensuring he wasn't going to be having any problems being snooped on the potting angle there. So pot this, run through. He has the one over the top cushion, over the top left-hand pocket. And all he has to do is make sure.
Trying to leave himself in the blind, which is a bit hard bit for him.
Yeah, he's saying he has to make sure he finds the route to the right-hand side of the table. It can be tricky when they're over the pocket like this.
You don't want to be on that red. It's snookered.
Is he snookered or is he just okay? No. Neil's just called total. Bit careless there, but as we were saying, can have problems. Well, he tried swerving around the red in, having a look at the pot, but obviously a very difficult shot. Touch careless with his cue ball position from the yellow over the pocket.
Yeah, the old problem is when the ball's actually in the bag like that one, it's always hard to get a decent back position.
Yeah, obviously the white, you've got to get it away from the knuckle, the jaw of the pocket very quickly. Stop that interfering with the intended path of the cue ball. And there really shouldn't be any problems for Dale here. All the balls are in the centre of the table. There shouldn't be any trouble finishing these off. I think perhaps he'll run through here if he's straight on this red and take the slightly more difficult red down the left-hand cushion.
Yeah, I'd be taking one down the left-hand cushion next to this red into the middle. Put plenty of screw back on it, bring white straight back up, and you've got the one into the right middle. And I think he's coming underneath it from the side.
Well, yeah, okay, I understand this as well then, because obviously with the shot down the left-hand cushion, if you're having to put screw on it and put some pace into the cue ball, it makes it more missable.
Yeah, whereas this now has got to just roll it in. Black's already over the bag for him, so he doesn't have to waste any effort on getting position.
It's nicely worked out from Dale there. Yep, we expect him to take those open clearance there, but he started to pot them and he took them well. So 3-2. Looks like, as we said, could be a very close match.
Yeah, I mean, even the game where I thought it could be a bit tactical, Neil brought straight back into play and also went for the full clearance again. So even the tactical game, I think they were last. Looks like Dale's looking at reds. I think he might be going for a breaking dish finish here, assuming this white comes far enough out. I don't know, I think he's left himself a bit buggered up there now, he's not very happy with that. Go for a bit of a safety shot. Neil's not really got much on for him from what I can see. I mean, no, he's got the one in, obviously, where the yellow and the red is next to each other at middle at tail. He has got the opportunity to pot that into the middle bag and try and force himself into some sort of position. Worst case scenario, it might come back down the left side cushion and roll up behind the yellow that's all the middle bag, but I'm not sure it's going to do much from there. And I think that's what he's looking at. There.
Unlucky of Neil to go in off there, but again, a touch careless.
See, I wasn't expecting Dale to miss them kind of shots. So I don't think Dale's potting's fully up to scratch yet. I mean, he's obviously taking out the nice little rolling shots, but as soon as he has to put any effort into the white ball, he keeps either leaving the white ball safe or...
I think with those shots as well, when you're jacking the cue up, you can sometimes lose sight of the ball. It's worth taking an extra couple of seconds just to refocus, look at the object ball and the potting angle. He just took his eye off that one a little bit there. He's played that quite nicely, I think, there. Played the plant in place, but still left his red over the pocket.
See, I wonder what it's going to do with that black, I'm not sure. Well, I weren't sure if it went to the bottom right, but it definitely doesn't now. I mean, in fact, it might go into the left middle bag if you can get the white behind it. And he's actually got an angle, because if it passes this top red, this red is close to 2.5 into the top bag. What are you thinking, Lee? You having a quick look nose there, see if he does?
I think it's very, very tight, so whether we can get the cue ball to the back of that bag, the back of that black.
He's having a look now.
See if it goes.
I mean, the other thing you can do, if otherwise, if he puts this red, try and force an angle on the bottom red to develop black back out.
Well, the way he's played this shot tells me he does think it goes into the left middle. He's left himself a natural angle to come round the back of this black. Also, I think, well, I tell you the other shot he has a...
Yeah, I think he's going to try to see if he can develop it instead.
Well, I think there's about two ways he can play it. Well, there's two ways he can play the shot. He can either try and come off the bottom cushion with the top, or he can perhaps widen the angle with a bit of stun, come off two cushions, and maybe play the black into the centre of the table. I think that's what he's looking at there. And he's looking at possibly dropping the white to see if he can...
See, I think he's scared that if he goes for the black into the middle bag, if he brings the white too far up, obviously he's got nothing on all, he can't even attempt a double. So I think he's just a bit paranoid about it.
Yeah, it's a very big pocket with that yellow over the middle there. Right, see what he tries here. Oh, he's gone straight into it.
That's worked out quite nicely. He's still got the pot into the middle.
He's played that perfectly. Black sails in the middle now with a big pocket.
Nicely done.
Very well worked out from Dale there. Needed his two shots and obviously missed. Slightly careless one earlier in the frame, but he took his time, steadied himself and took the clearance out. I think it was quite a nice clearance actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, obviously like I said, apart from that miss earlier, the rest of it were quite nice. You got a bit unlucky obviously to actually put one of his balls earlier and actually put black safe, but you got it back out, straight into the middle bag, made it look easy.
And most importantly here, I think we're on schedule for a 9 o'clock finish, so everyone can go watch the football. And they are playing at a relatively decent pace here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Neil should be looking at reds here, breaking dish again. Even an opportunity for breaking dish on yellows if he wants. So this game should last about a minute.
Yeah, I think both sets of colours as a finish on.
Yeah, he's just nominated reds.
Yep, perhaps I think I agree with Neil there. I think reds are perhaps a slightly easier set to finish.
Yeah, I think it's just the two yellows in the middle of the table which makes it look a bit tricky for yellows. And I think all reds do go, so...
I think there's a natural path as well to go around the table here from the...
Still works out alright, he's got enough reds to recover on.
Perhaps not the way I'd have taken that. I was looking at bringing the cue ball at the top of the table, taking these two reds out over the top right hand corner. Looked like a natural to be at least give yourself a very good chance of leaving yourself in the angle to put the red in the left middle, and then the two towards the bottom of the table. Looked like a potential finish from there, but he's obviously taking a slightly different route and he's left himself slightly awkward now. Shot there. The other two options he had are the two thin cuts in opposite middle pockets. They were easy pots, but he was obviously losing the cue ball. Slightly harder pot perhaps with the cue ball being hampered, but it's given him a lot better position here.
Just a bit indecisive which way to go about this now.
I think he's got two options really. I don't think he should be looking at the red on the left hand side of the table. I think he's again losing the cue ball, going into the black.
Yeah, I think he's going to take that 3-second shot.
Yeah.
See now, at least if he puts a bit of top on it, he can run it straight past the black on the left hand side.
I think also now he's done his work down this end of the table, which is obviously positive considering the position of the black.
Yeah, he's just got to make sure he gets on this bottom red and a bit nicer though, because I don't know if he's straight from here, so he's going to have to dig in and put quite a bit of power into it. Yeah, he's done that very nicely.
Yeah, very nicely. And you can drop this in for the black and left hand middle.
This is Neil's answer to what Dale did the last frame.
Neil's second dish of the night. So it helps when you can win in one visit off the break.
Yeah, we have Neil's plotting today. I think it'll be at least. I think he might push 5 breaking dishes today. I'm not quite sure. What do you think yourself?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think with the way Neil's working out these finishes as well, they've not been perhaps as straightforward as you see some breaking dishes where the balls are all in the centre of the table, a series of stun shots or a few follow throughs, and it's very difficult almost to miss the dish. Yeah, he's had work to do with the cue ball every time. He's had to pick the correct path, the correct order of the balls to go through. He's taken them both very well so far. We'll see if Dale can match this. I think if he's going to stand a chance of winning tonight, he'll have to match him on this front.
Yeah, I think with Dale though, he's having a little bit of issue with his breaks right now. I mean, I think it was Dale's break when all the balls went safe at the bottom right bag. He's got the one into the middle.
Well, the last ball rolling. So let's see what he can do with it.
See, once again, this isn't a very nice break either.
Yeah, I think he's perhaps lost the. I think the cue ball was kicked up the table there by another ball, so maybe it's a bit unfair to say, but yeah, his cue ball position off the break doesn't seem to be ideal at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's using a 9-ball cue as well, so I don't think he can put much action on the white ball to try and help control it off the break. Like a lot of people like to either put a bit of top on it to keep it down, or bring it, put bottom on it purposely, bring it back up to the top cushion, bring it back down again. I think if you use a 9-ball cue, I think you're just hitting it centre of the ball every time, so you're just relying on a bit more luck.
So do you know why Dale uses the 9-ball cue?
No, I mean, I've done it before myself, where I've used a bigger tip just purely for breaking. I used to have an issue a bit like Asim what does, where he used to break and you just put a lot aside on it.
Yeah, this could be an issue, so perhaps this is a reason for why he's doing it. That was a lovely pop, by the way, there from Dale to.
Yeah, it's just he has got the plant into the middle. I think his trickiest one's the yellow below the black.
Yeah, I think to pot there, he's going to have perfect position. He doesn't leave himself too thin a cut on that yellow below the black, but obviously if he tries to be too perfect on it, then he could leave himself snookered.
Yeah, I think ideally what he wants to is play the plant, push the white through to actually hit the red. That's above the black to one side, and use that red as a break. And then that way he should have quite a nice position on the yellow. But I think if he does it now, I think because the angle has been bringing the white too far down. I don't think he'll be able to do it now, I'm not sure.
Well, I've got another option here for a potential shot. If he plays the yellow at the top of the table with bottom right hand side, it looks like he'll come down into the centre of the table, and if he plays on the yellow below the black, it looks like if he misses position slightly, he would leave himself on a plant in the middle. Gives him another chance or another option to get on this difficult yellow. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. He's come right across. How's the pace? That is absolutely perfect.
See, the only problem is for me now, he is actually on it, but is there a chance of running off into the middle bag? Because he has to put quite a bit of pace on this yellow to get it in. And it's a thin cut.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's why he's going for the opportunity. It's just not worth it from this point.
Well, it looked absolutely perfect from first glance, but I think you were right. I think he was losing the cue ball too much there.
See, this is a good shot, because now he can pot this into the middle. I think he can bring the white off the right cushion and bring it below the red, or use the red as a stopper again and push it to one side. He's just got to make sure that he don't end up putting that black safe by accident.
Yeah, it's a tricky little cannon to work out here. I think playing it softer is generally better. Oh wow.
Yeah, see what I mean by protecting black, he almost did it, but he's actually done it quite nicely. Now the hardest bit is getting the white back out, so if he can into one of them two reds at the bottom of the table, then he might have to play the black into the middle bag, but obviously he wants to swing it all the way around, so play it into the bottom right bag where he's about to spot this yellow. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if he plays it to the top, it looks almost unnatural to go very close to that second of the two reds on the left hand side of the cushion as we look.
See, if he actually hits the edge of that red and not hits it full ball, there's a good chance the red will send the white into the bottom of the cushion and send it back up in a straight line.
Yeah.
But it's a very risky shot to try and aim for.
Yeah, to try and aim for that would be very difficult, but it does look like it's on. I think obviously it would have to be pinpoint perfect, otherwise he's going to be in trouble. Well, he hit it a bit harder.
And he's put it safe.
Stunned in the cue ball a bit more there and caught the outside of the red. I think he was trying to miss that red and come round off the cushion, and obviously there was again a very small margin of error between kissing that red and going in the corner pocket. Unfortunately for Dale, he's left himself sneaking on the bottom edge of the black. I'm not sure if it's total or not. You might be able to see the right hand edge as we look at the black.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be able to see it. I mean, he's probably most likely going to come off the cushion and just attempt to take it into the bottom bag.
Well, is it perhaps an idea to tie the black and red up? No, I think he's going for it, like you said.
Good shot.
Yeah, that's a fantastic shot. Right.
Yeah, from where I mean, even if he missed it, he'd put it out of the bag. It would have been a bit unfortunate, but that was a very good shot he pulled off there.
Yeah, I think like you said, he felt like he was going to give it a go. Obviously he gets it, he wins the frame of that visit. Because if he went for a safety shot to try and disrupt Neil's clearance, then there's still no guarantee of anything.
I think that was also a breaking dish from Dale. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Neil didn't come to the table that time.
Yeah, I think obviously, both myself and Josh were looking at the tactical side of that clearance and how to manoeuvre it. Yes, I think it was a breaking dish as well, so credit to Dale there for taking that out. Matching Neil with breaking dish, obviously. Didn't finish it perhaps quite how he wanted to, but still, when they ran out of position at the end, he still took it out and got himself another frame on the board.
He's keeping it nice and tight now, 4-4. I'm not sure what Neil's going to do from here. I mean, he could take yellows, but that's horrible right on that yellow directly behind it. I've got a feeling that this is going to be one busy contest this time round, unfortunately.
Very tricky one with it, that's
The rest of the ball down to just that one yellow next to the black, but possibly because that yellow next to the black, you're up to your reds up.
Very straightforward.
He's just got quite a tricky fire shot. I think he's looking into the middle bag.
Yeah, I think it's sharp time to time. He's playing away not too much angle from the right side, so not too difficult to do what you think. I think he wants to do this here. He really has a look at Cannon. There was obviously very risky doing the black. Let's look at the cue down to the right hand side of the table and the other on the left hand corner bucket. It's a very, very precise position shot. So he's taking reds here for the reasons we were to discuss.
That was a very nice shot, actually.
Very nice shot. He's played a few shots in one there. He's obviously opened the table up. Got himself on reds. Protected the black a bit there as well.
Well, with this shot now, he's actually left himself an angle to develop black and black.
And his only tricky ball there, if he takes this on, is the red on the left hand cushion.
Yeah, no, it's just directly above them two yellows. Yeah, it's a nice little touch down on the black.
Good shot. Took that very well. There's a good chance of leaving himself on this for red to the left middle. Now he's just got to work out how he's going to get this red on the left hand cushion out. or towards the left-hand cushion. I'm pretty certain it doesn't pop past the yellows here, so he's going to have to look at a cannon or perhaps a double, but getting himself an angle for a double doesn't look too straightforward given where those two yellows are. He'd have to be very careful with the cue ball.
Yeah, I mean, he might even, no doubt, he might even try coming underneath it and try putting it into either the top or the middle bag instead, but like I say, I think from where he is, maybe the double's the better opportunity. Not quite sure what he's got in mind for this. I think that's what he's looking at around a double.
I think he maybe is looking bottom left-hand side to come down below it, like you said. Watch out for the middle pocket here. Oh wow, no, he didn't put any side on it. Didn't really put any screw into the cue ball either. Just stunned it. Obviously took his eye off the pocket. Off the pocket of the pot, sorry.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I didn't think it would be one visit clearance anyways. I mean, obviously Dale does have the opportunity to do it in one visit, but unfortunately Neil didn't get it, so he has the opportunity a bit, just didn't do it.
And this is tricky now, and I can see where I'm sitting in my commentary position here, that he can't get to this red, the yellow over the top left-hand corner pocket, blocked by the yellow in front of him, so that would have made his life a lot easier.
And I was wondering if this yellow above the red in the middle of the table goes into the middle. I doubt it. So you might have to look at the plan.
I'm not so sure. If we can have a look at the side angle, see if that passes the red into the left middle. It's very tight. I think it might go, you know.
But like I say, it's a very tight cut if it does.
I think that's what he's going for.
Yeah, it does.
Good shot. Left himself options again here.
See, the thing that I feel with Dale is that he's constantly chasing his finishes.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably fair. I think when Neil's had a finish on, he seemed to have a lot more confidence. You'd back him a bit more, perhaps, to take the finish out. I think Dale's just taking his time here, working out the best way to navigate the table. I think the two yellows, the bottom left hands, towards the bottom left-hand pocket are his problem here. I mean, they don't look a straightforward plant, and getting position on the bottom of the two yellows is quite tricky. Yeah, so that's why he chose to try and go into them there, but
Yeah, screw himself up, unfortunately. I mean, he will now go for the snooker.
yeah, I think it's almost certainly go for the snooker, just touch off this yellow onto the side cushion, I think.
But once again, I think he was just chasing it. I think he was trying to force too much. I mean, I know it wasn't an easy plant, but I think from where he was, the plant would have probably been a better idea.
I think he had a relatively high level of security with that shot as well, obviously, unless he, you know, barring anything like putting the white in the right hand middle there, coming down, having a go at potting developing those two yellows, with a more or less guaranteed pot, so he had a chance to do it. And yeah, we'd come back to the table control, so if he didn't do it, he's be able to lay a snooker like he has now. Obviously, he must have been quite happy with the outcome, really, having such an easy snooker to lay.
Yeah, like I said, there could have been so many different things that went wrong for him. I think Neil's just going for a nice little DF.
Yeah, no point in Neil trying to hit one of his reds there. There's no value in, say, trying to get onto the red on the top cushion there. It's obviously, you'd have to hit it pinpoint accuracy, which is very difficult off three cushions and making angles there, and then he'd be leaving down a straight finish. So
Yeah, I think the other thing that's under Neil's insurance right now is that the black's on the right cushion, which makes it a little bit tricky, and Dale does still have one yellow on the left cushion, which is about to bring off.
So I think Dale did, Neil, sorry, did all he could there, really. He forced Dale to waste one of his two shots.
Yeah, once again, Dale's not got a nice angle on the sheller, because how it's going, it's bringing the white back down the table. Could put a lot of power on this and try and swing it around the angles, but
yeah, it's very difficult to control the white here. He's going to bring it off possibly three cushions here.
coming into the black and snookers himself back then.
He looked on, didn't it? Touched that black.
It just seems like Dale's not having much luck when he's running the white around.
That's a very difficult shot there. As we said, that it was going to come round off three cushions. think he needs to hit it slightly firmer there to widen the angle of the cue ball.
There's the cue ball.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I might say you weren't expecting that to go in.
Still with the 3 reds on the table, it would have been, if it hadn't have gone in, I think still it would be a very good chance for Neil to finish with 2 now. You'd certainly think he would finish these. The red in the bottom left hand side of the table again, slightly tricky. Doesn't go in the bottom left hand corner obviously. Very thin cut in the middle.
Yeah, I think the whites might look at, if you pass this one to the middle, bring the white off the bottom cushion and back up again and try and hit the red on his way back up just to try and make it a slight bit easier for himself.
Well, yeah, that's a potential option. I mean, he could also do the same shot, but then he's got a very good angle here, obviously, and ball in hand, to be able to just drop on this red here, so he can pot it dead weight into the middle, and he has 2 shots then to pot the slightly tricky red up the left-hand cushion and get himself on the black. Yeah, if he's having to think about this one, it's a tricky one. Obviously, he goes for the shot I've just described there. He doesn't get perfect accuracy, perfect position on this next red. Wow, he's missed that first one.
See, I wasn't expecting him to miss that, but I think he was trying too hard with a white ball.
Yeah, we've completely focused on the cannon there.
I mean, we have seen that before where they completely focus on the cannon. I mean, the only outcome to that, what he's got lucky as is that he's put the red towards the yellow to make it a bit safer in regards to the yellow bit.
So I think here what we should be doing is just dropping this red maybe over the pocket a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Ideal. Leave the red over the pocket. Dale totaled. So it's a very difficult situation for Dale here. Now, because if he leaves Neil anywhere on the table really, apart from tucked in behind the yellow, he can have a very good chance to finish. Can you see a pass down to behind that yellow here for Dale?
I'm not quite sure, I mean, yeah, he might be able to get behind the black. It'll depend how much angle he's got. Nice, flick the black back to them.
Yeah, that's what he looked at. So on our screen here, it looked like a potential angle, but it wasn't natural. He had to generate with a bit of side, I think. Neil going for the double here as well, getting his bad ball out.
It's not got it unfortunately, but it's still potable, which is the main thing from this point.
Yeah, I think it was if he potted it great, he has 2 to finish the frame, but there shouldn't be any issues here really.
So I've been half tempted to leave that red to last. Makes it a lot easier to get on black.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Obviously, again, the problem is we leave himself too much angle. He's got to control the cue ball nicely here to give himself an easy block. Where's the cue ball? Well, as we were saying there, perhaps the best shot would be to take the one over the corner pocket first. And he would have left himself, well, in fact, if he'd left himself any angle, he'd been okay, really. He himself too high in a thin cut, coming off the top cushion.
Exactly. Always got 2 measure for all these in. 2 shots, he'll just double this straight in 1.
Yep, I wouldn't be going for the double in 1 here with 2. I think I would try and just put this in towards the middle of the table and definitely leave myself a shot. Yep, that's what he's done. If you
not many as easy as he wanted to do it, he'll stick it into the top bag.
I think it's relatively straight. I don't think that's what he's going for, but he's got relatively lucky there.
He's missed it.
That's unbelievable with 2 from there. That is criminal from Dale.
There are opportunities you cannot throw away.
No,
Neil cannot leave coming back to the table at this point.
No, with 2 on the black and your last ball there, I think every day Dale should have been taking those out. I think he tried to play the right shot there, playing the black across the table, because if he, the classic situation, you know, if you go for the double in 1 but then you miss it and it hits the jaw, he can run down the side cushion and leave you without a shot when you really should be finishing it every time. A soft double across the table, cue ball in the middle. We're joined in our commentary position by JC here.
Never mind, we're joined.
That's it now, we're going to have to lean in nice and close to the microphone.
How's your pull, boys?
Well, my pull's alright so far. I don't know how Dez is doing now. Unfortunately for Dale to miss that black.
Yeah, Dale won't be happy with himself missing that one there, I think. Just a little bit tentative on that first shot on the black.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd have rather just tried going for the double and one. I mean, worst case scenario, he was going to at least go somewhere near that middle bag. I mean, he just did that and left it completely in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I suppose that's the confident way to play it, but again, you do run that risk of hitting the jaw and running the black up and down the cushion.
Yeah, I know, but still, at least it would have been a chance.
But still, the black he missed into the top left-hand corner was...
You wouldn't have ever expected that of Dale. Now let's see if he can make up for it. Possibility of break condition here.
Yep.
Tricky first red if he goes for reds. He has got the one near enough in a straight line to the bottom left bag. Plant into the right middle, plant into the bottom right corner as well, so he's got some opportunities. Once again, he's not got a very good white ball, he's completely screwed that up already.
Yeah, a bit careless with his position there, I think. Let's just make sure he'd left himself the angle on this red to the left middle. I was going to say as well, a quick break and dish would have helped him forget the black in the last frame.
I'm not sure what he's going to do from here. I mean, the other thing I think of, if he comes off this red, brings the white onto the left cushion and try and get it behind black for a snooker. And he's gone for the plant. He's got it.
He's got it. It's not worked out badly for him there. Still has the relatively straightforward red to the left middle.
But once again, this is what I'm about the last frame, where it just feels like he's always chasing his finishes.
Yeah, he's not really had perfect position with the cue ball throughout a lot of his clearance attempts.
Yeah, and he's missed that as well. I mean, I'm not sure Neil's got an advantage this game. The other thing I think if he tries to put in Neil or the bottom right bag to try and gain control, he don't really have an easy pot on from where he is.
Well, looking at that shot there, I almost thought he had too much angle to try the shot he was doing and hold the cue ball. He might have been able to do it. It's difficult to tell exactly how much angle he had from here, but possibly could have looked at playing a bit firmer and bringing the cue ball on and off the top cushion. Very tricky clearance for Neil here.
I think he's just going to try and go for a plant and just try and get the yellow over the bag. Might even bother trying to go for the clearance. The problem is with Neil right now, he's got too many balls tied up.
Too many balls over this bottom right hand corner as well, so even if he does cover the pocket, it's a relatively straightforward DF.
Yeah, but I think Neil would rather have two shots right now than one, trying to develop them yellows out.
Yeah, yep, certainly, but it won't do him any favours if he does cover the pocket here.
Well, see, for me that's a good shot.
Well, yeah, obviously now, yeah, it's not tight in the bag. It's difficult for Dale to play a DF and then leave the red covering all of those three yellows. Another potential DF he has here if he plays this yellow on the right hand cushion down onto the red.
See, I've got a feeling that if he tries doing that, he'll be pushing the red out of the bag rather than into it, so he just leave the pocket wide open with two shots.
He'd have to hit it full ball, I think, wouldn't he, to do that?
Yeah, and even then, the red won't be that close over the bag, so Neil's going to have opportunities to get yellows underneath it. It's just not worth it from my eyes at this point.
Potential double here for Neil as well. Not for Dale, sorry.
The other thing I think of, this red now, it's over the middle bag, push it towards the bottom right instead. Which I think what he's doing, because there is still a slight gap underneath that yellow to get the red there.
Yeah.
But then, once again, Neil's then got the opportunity to do a DF and put his yellow back over that flag. See, it's like now it could be worth if he can put this one into the top right. The yellow that's on the very right cushion, send that down, hit the red, it'll push the other yellow onto the cushion because it'll be coming off the Dale's red into the joint, it should rattle. Dale will then have the opportunity to do a DF and cover that back a little bit. Neil's balls will be a bit more open at that point.
I like that shot from Dale there. I think he's given himself a lot of options. I think, I'm not entirely sure, I think that red might pass into the bottom right hand corner. And if it does, then he obviously gives himself the option of potting that red and developing the other red next to the yellow.
See, Neil might just have an idea with regards of, I wonder if he can come off this yellow onto the side cushion, try and send the white up and behind that other yellow. Just try and go for a snooker of some description. Or at least try and push the white as far right to the table as possible, so the only ball Dale's got is the one where that other yellow's tied up. The other red's tied up, sorry. Because the last thing Neil wants is Dale having a nice opportunity to push that red even further over the bag or gain more control over that bag. I think he's going for the pot.
We're closer to Birdwell than in what pocket there.
Nice little bit of commentary there from JC. But yeah, now he's just left Dale an opportunity to either pot this and see, even if he pots this, he's got to be slightly careful because that red could go safe. I think he's just going to try pushing it over the bag rather than potting it, to be fair. I'm not quite sure what you think.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility here. If he just puts this red onto the bottom cushion over the corner pocket. It does again then give Neil the option of the DF if he does that. If he gets this red tight in the jaws of the pocket, then we could see a couple of DS in succession here, where then Neil pots the red, leaving his yellow over the bag. Trusted a little bit to luck there, went for the shot that I
Nice pot black safe.
spoke about earlier. Potting that red and then developing the other one.
See, now he's just running into problem because he can pot this, try and develop black out, or he can try and hold for the other red, but then it's like that black out is it's not going to be easy.
I think it's a very risky shot trying to develop the black out here. I think he's going to do well to get position on this red on the left hand side of the table.
See, it might be worth trying to pot that red into this bottom bag. White's going to come off two cushions and bring it back up.
Be a very ambitious shot, I think, there to try and pot that, but then still it's maybe not the worst shot actually.
Well, worst case scenario, you might protect the black into the bottom left bag at least. It just depends whereabouts the white's going to go this time.
Yeah, didn't attempt the pot then.
See, he's left Neil an opportunity. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's not a lot on, but he's giving Neil a chance to do something. He's got the one into the middle bag right now, but he can roll in.
I think the difference between this, between the shots Dale's played there and perhaps the shot he did in the previous frame where he left Neil a tricky finish but an opportunity to develop balls and take a clearance out. Here the black's tied up as well. I mean, Neil has two difficult yellows in the middle of the table which he'll do very well to develop, but also the black and his last yellow is a very awkward situation. So I don't really see Neil taking these out from this visit here. Yeah, Neil just looking to prevent Dale potting a ball and then in turn getting one of his more difficult balls out of the way or off the cushion even.
See, I think he's actually done that quite nicely. I don't think Dale's able to cut this in either, so if we were able to cut it in.
Don't you look as a pipe?
How much would you drink? Speaking of Lucas, I could do a top up actually. I might go for one after this round.
Yeah, he's cut the potting angle off here, I think. Oh well, it might be a very thin cut on here.
No, even if he pots it, it'd be pointless because black's just too tied up. Oh, we were hoping to bring black out with that. It's a very good shot what he's done there, but it's not worked out quite how he wanted.
I don't know, I think that's worked out fine for him really there. I think if he brings the black out as well, he obviously the red's going to not go quite over the corner pocket how it has, and then the black and Neil's difficult yellow are going to be opened out. So again now, Neil with that same situation, two difficult balls in the middle of the table and the black tied up with one of his yellows. But this time now as well, Dale with that red over the bottom left hand corner, it's a lot easier for him to get position on the final red or develop the black.
that yellow what's at the very top of the table, try and send this all the way down here and try and get behind that red, just try and gain control, but that's a very good snooker.
Oh, he's played that very nicely then. Very good touch shot there. Very easy to get wrong. And then with 2 shots here, if Dale fails to hit a ball,
yeah, I don't think Dale's even. I think Dale's just going to push the shot down the table, do a DF.
Wow.
Would you play that, boys?
See, I don't know, because now that's probably worked out in Neil's favour, because now he's got 2 yellows to help protect him with that black.
Well, in another way, 2 of his yellows are tied up now by the black. I think that was a very risky shot from Dale to play there. I think he ran the risk of opening the black up, which then would leave Neil 2 shots with only the one problem in the middle of the table. But as it's turned out, it's still left Neil a very difficult clearance.
See, I would have still been half tempted to try and force the yellow road his bottom left back. He's going to snooker send behind that red.
Well, saw what he was trying there, obviously trying to get the cue ball over to the left hand side of the table to...
Actually, that might benefit me even more, so he's got to nice just come off the cushion and just hit it. He doesn't have to hit the cushion afterwards. You know, just develop him up instead. Now the question is, does he cover the bottom right back to protect the black, or does he carry on going for a clearance? Because that yellow will go down here, probably push that red safe, and don't know what it's going to do with them 2. Or you can try and, I'm just thinking if I wonder if you can get a snooker down here somehow at some point.
Down here somewhere, obviously the viewers at home have the advantage of being able to see your finger on the screen here, Josh.
Yeah, at some point I'll be setting up a camera just so you can see me pointing at the screen like a random pen or something.
Still waiting for your Dennis Taylor lines to become available.
Has it got some Dennis Taylor lines?
Not yet, I'm going to look into it in future for a bit of fun.
Forgot to pick him up from the shop, didn't you, Josh?
I know, it's just not good, is it? See, I think Neil's got an opportunity now for a little snooker. All he's got to do is just tap up to that, the bottom yellow. There you go. Now he's protected black again. From me now, I think Neil's actually got control of the frame. But this is what I wanted about earlier by Dale pushing more yellows down the table. All he's doing is helping Neil out control the black.
Yep, black is tied up now.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's easy touch-up games right now to keep getting in and out of them, but...
Good shot there from Neil. Made it more difficult for Dale to do the same escape.
There's his 2 shots.
Yep. Just brought the cue ball a bit tighter into the yellow and the black there.
Yeah, I mean from here I'd be easily expecting Neil to take these out. He's got the yellow bang above him down to the top bag. He can then force an angle with these 2 yellows at the right hand side to bring the white down to develop the yellow and the black out. No, I think he's going to do that first actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might have been making that seem a touch too easy there, that clearance.
Yeah, I was just thinking Will was trying to keep you 2 shots, but also when Neil playing a lot of black ball rules as well, he's happy to waste a shot to develop his balls out.
Just gone 1 to 50 on Betfair there.
I think Neil's actually done that really nicely.
Yeah, I think Neil's used his shot very well there. Brought his difficult ball out. Then the remaining 3 balls, centre of the table. There shouldn't be any problems here.
It just depends how straight he's ended up on these.
I can see here from my position that he's got a nice angle on this bottom of the 2 yellows to screw back up the table and leave himself a good angle on the top one. Is he taking the top one first?
See, now this is going to go horrible now, because if he pops this, it's not going to leave himself a very nice white for black.
Is he going to bump onto it ready?
Nope.
Zoned it.
Actually, that's not too bad. Nice and finished.
Well taken from the early end there. tactical frame, the longest one of the night, by a long way that one.
Yeah. But once again, I think Dale lost that game just because he pushed that yellow down to the black and just gave Neil the opportunity to play safety game and protect black even more.
Time did we start? 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
6 o'clock start, so going an hour and 20 minutes now.
And 10 frames have been played. I suppose if you're playing this kind of minute, 10 frames in that time isn't that bad. It's not high quality without a breaking dish every frame, but it's still not bad.
Yeah, so it's what, 80 minutes we've been going for 10 frames, 8 minutes a frame, it's not too bad, but then that last frame was 20 minutes, so...
Neil there with a nice break, but unfortunately nothing's gone in.
Yep, dry break again from Neil. Well, again, is this Neil's first dry break of the evening, actually?
No, this is Neil's second, I think, actually. I remember him his second break into this session. He didn't actually get one after. Neil just accidentally broke off and not realised Dale wasn't even around.
Yeah. Dale had just left the room for the moment there, and
Neil also just not focusing, just
Came back-
get on with the game.
came back with a surprised look on his face to see see it was his shot.
Got quite a few people in the room today, just sat around watching.
What I find, guys, is if you're not good at something, just accept you're not good at something. Don't, like, you know what I mean? He balls it up as if he's a top player, but you know, never mind smiling, you two clowns.
JC just having a
I've
little
had some wine, by the way, so that'll help.
If anyone's got any comments that they'd like to talk to JC about, now's the time.
Yeah, the forum is open. JC is available to answer questions.
Talk about Ian Sunderland, feel free as well. There's a champion jockey walking round.
This has gone from a nice friendly game of pool to JC's talk show. A very good shot there by Neil. Dale's just looking a bit concerned in the corner. Neil does seem to be making these finishes look easy and keeps taking them out from nowhere as well. Even in games where you think Dale should win it, Neil seems to be stealing them.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Dale did with his last shot really. He pushed that yellow towards the side cushion, obviously only just hit the cushion.
Yeah, I think he just underpaced it. I think he was just trying to get a lot more over the bag than that, but it was always going to be a delicate shot he tried playing anyways.
So, I think Neil has to be also careful here. He doesn't want to start potting himself into trouble. So we're just having a quick look at the table, seeing what's on. So I don't think we'd be too worried about the red at the bottom left hand corner of the table here.
Yeah, it's easy enough to get onto. It's just a case of what he's going to do with this one at top of the table now.
Yeah, this is it. I think he's perhaps looking at doing something with it here.
Yeah, that's a nice little shot there. He's trying pushing it. I don't think he's left the yellow into the middle bag available.
No, I don't think he can see the potting angle. I'm not entirely sure. If he has, that might not be the best shot because obviously he doesn't want to. Well, saying that actually.
Not sure whether he's going to think about doing a DF or...
I was thinking Dale could pop one of these yellows and knob down the right hand side of the table. Well, I think Dale's missed a trick there. I think if he'd fancied a long one down into the opposite right corner.
That's not a good shot whatsoever, is it?
No, he's not done a lot with that there.
He's left middle on.
Yeah, he's left the table wide open now. Two. That was always two shots.
Well,
He got a bit unfortunate though, if he rolled off or he just tried hitting it a bit too much.
Possibly, but I think Neil's been very careless there. As Dow's left him in that position. Well, I think this is where Dow wishes he was playing black ball.
Yeah, because Neil still does a good job. I mean, I'm just wondering if that red will actually move out of the way with the yellow on the left side cushion.
No, he's worked. Oh, where's the cue ball?
See, you couldn't even call that shot. That's just pure unlucky.
You can't legislate for that. That's obviously very difficult, and he played the right shot there, using the one shot to get the two balls out. But
like I say, just pure unlucky that the white went in from there. Two shots from me now for Neil.
Yep.
Should be 7-4.
Yep. He should be taking these out of field here. The only potential problem I think he has is this red in the bottom left hand side of the table. Obviously he has to get good position on this red. It's not too difficult as long as when he tries to take it out, he's gone for it now. Yeah. That's all we need to do is get the cue ball on the left hand side cushion there.
Which he has done, he's done that very nicely.
Yeah, he's got quite a lot of angle here though. He's got to watch where the cue ball's going.
Yeah, he's just going to take it into the middle bag. Guaranteed position.
Played that very nicely.
Don't even matter if he misses it at this point, so it'll do is just stay up middle bag and make it on black even easier.
Yeah, well he's obviously got two very easy balls towards the top of the table as well, so...
Playing that well.
Yeah, confident cueing them. Two from here. Can't see any problems.
Very confident shot there, well played.
Yeah, very ropey frame I think there.
Have you eaten your tea?
Yeah.
You think this is Akbar?
I've not been to that bar yet, I know everyone keeps going on
You're not
about it.
allowed with me. I told you before.
Ah, it's good.
You can come on Wednesday if you behave yourself.
Oh, we might have to make a date of it. I think Neil's now just starting to take off. Dale's losing more position to play. Chasing it too much for my liking. I think Dale just needs to slow it down a little bit and just regain himself.
Yeah, Dale seems to have lost himself I think over the last few frames. A few silly shots really, shots he's not really thought out. Well, he's lost his break again there. I think the cue ball was straight in the middle there.
See, I know a lot of people normally say that if you start playing unwell, your break starts showing it, and I think his break is showing it. I mean, luckily it's only one shot, so it's not too much danger, but with how Neil's playing, you might find a finish from somewhere.
Yep.
His only difficult one really is the one on the right cushion where the yellow is if he goes for race.
Yeah, I was going to say that's obviously his problem ball. One shot from here, it's a difficult clearance. No, he's okay.
He almost went. He almost ran that a little bit too far down. He wants to put some bottom on this. Way too much. He's got on that red nicely though. But in fact, I wonder if he can pot this with plenty of top and run white into the yellow.
Yep, that's what he's looking at now. Well, he's
Maybe he's got the one into the bottom left. Don't know what angle he's got.
Yeah, he might be able to just see the white angle. This one maybe past the black.
If he does, I think he's going to be very fortunate and very lucky.
Well,
Because if he can in that yellow, and he's got a chance of snooping and sending again afterwards.
I think he's very
It's just not a microphone, no headset. Yeah, very unlucky there by Neil. Obviously went for the pot with the red and accidentally potted the yellow into the middle bag, which even I couldn't predict that. Oh no, what's going to happen here?
Well, do they have an interval?
think it might be first to 10 and they have an interval.
First to 10 in interval.
Yeah, I know that the last time Neil played, they actually didn't bother winning it until halfway through.
Sounds crackers, but Dale needs to pinch a couple before interval because at the minute it's quite traffic, isn't it?
Yep. And the other problem is with Dale right now is that he's making his games harder for himself without Neil even having to make the game hard for him.
Yep. I think Dale's throwing away.
How do you win from here? I mean, what would you two guys do?
The other opportunity I can think from here is doing the DF, putting that black onto that yellow, keeping it tight and just leaving it over there and putting that red out of the way. That's the only thing I can think of.
I'd be phoning Aggie Bailey at this stage, for this film.
Then I think I'd give Ralph a call, to be honest.
No, whichever way you look at it, it's very difficult to win the frame here for Dale.
2 shots.
Well, Dale needs to collect himself here. We've seen this happen before a few times with Neil.
Maybe a terrible 2 shots.
Yeah. Obviously Neil, pretty good front runner. Once he gets in front.
Yeah, he seems to stay there and keeps flying. Just got to make sure he doesn't snook or send behind the shallow. Nicely done.
He's played that very confidently. No messing around there.
Just nicely rolled this in. Black into the middle bag.
Wow.
I wonder if he snookered his then.
No, I don't think he has, has he? No. No, I don't think he's snooping himself here. I think he's...
I just don't think he's got the potting angle.
No, I think he's just concerned that obviously with 2 shots here, if he doesn't pop the black on the first shot, he could leave himself very difficult. Yep.
He's on it. That is a very nice shot.
Very, very lucky there. That's what he's worried about. It was that shot he played previously with the red over the bag. No way he should have been hitting that hard. Should have been just a simple screw back 1 inch.
Yeah, I'd have been happy just to roll it in a little bit. I think Dale's now getting ready for a quick break, so maybe after this game, what game after, there'll be a break on. What do you think to today's performance so far, JC? Are you impressed with it or disappointed?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I don't know much about Dale, so it's difficult to commentate on it, isn't it? If you don't know, but, you know, I mean, I commentate on TV and, you know, you just get called biased and whatever when you commentate on it, but if you only know one person and you don't know of it, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, the other problem is if you don't know someone, how the capabilities, what they can play, you can only comment on how they're playing on the day, and if you're not playing very well, that's all you can comment on. And unfortunately, I do know Dale can play a lot better than this. I've seen him take out break conditioning against me and make it look easier when they're not, and unfortunately today I just don't think he's bringing that game with him.
So red down off the break here. Neil taking yellows.
So you can just see the difference right now that Neil is just so much more confident, he's striking the cue ball a lot more nicer.
Yeah, well, you can see his confidence in his play now as well. He's
Giving a bump onto the red to free black up,
Yeah, he's going to do it now. Just got to make sure he leaves himself something on afterwards.
Yeah, he has this yellow over the top left-hand corner pocket, but
He's going to try cutting this one up the right cushion.
yeah, I think that's the right shot there.
I think it's the only shot there.
In or over? Well, there was a swerve shot around the black there, possibly.
Still not that bad, to be honest. He's left the white at the top of the table.
Right,
Dale has got a pot on, but
let's see what Dale can do with these now. He's coming to the table again, very difficult situation. Top red on the table as we look. Doesn't pot obviously in the right hand corner and might pot in the top left hand corner. It's a good pot.
Just a fictional fly buzzing about.
looks like he's going to try cutting this in. That is a very nice shot there. I think it's worked out quite well for him. All the reds will go.
Well, just that top red, I think, does it go into the top left hand corner?
Yeah, it'll go into the top left corner. We'll have a quick look in a second just to make sure. flies in.
Flies in the top of one of them, no problems. So I think Dale really needs to take this frame here.
See, the other problem he's got here is leaving himself the angle to keep the white at the right side of the table. Because I think he's going to try putting his board into the middle. And then obviously the other red. But because the yellow's in the way, it's a little bit tricky to hold for the red into the left afterwards.
He's just looking at the angle he wants on this red, or he's looking at taking it now.
Yeah, I think he had to. I think if he went to the middle one first, he'd have lifted himself a bit buggered. But as he got angled now to bring the white back down.
We'll carry on with your locus there. That's a shot, isn't it?
It's a very good shot.
Beautiful shot.
Has he left himself straight?
Yeah, the thing he has is using top right on the cue ball. He's played that very well. Well, this will do Dale's confidence. World of good there.
Needed that massively.
Yeah. Good finish there. Worked that out very well.
I think they've got two different scoreboards.
So I think Dale's just indicated they're looking at a break after this frame. It's a much better break off, and Dale controlled the white very well there, screwed it straight on and off the top cushion.
If he does want breaking this from here, it's got to be reds. I don't think there's any first yellow on.
Yeah, very.
Oh, sorry.
It's a very tricky dish from yellows here. I think reds as well. Yeah, it's not an obvious starter unless, does this yellow on the left hand side of the table, is that going to the corner? I don't think so, it might. I don't think so. He's taking reds anyway. And this red, I don't think it passes into the right middle. Might be looking at taking it in the corner now, he's on it.
Yeah, we're going to the bottom corner. Got a nice angle to do some of that big bag.
Yeah, I think he played that off the cushion and off the yellow over the corner pocket, and obviously it frees the corner pocket up slightly more. He's got to watch his position here. I think he'll be coming off the top cushion here with a long top spin.
Yeah, I'll be coming off the top and bringing the white to the left side of the table. Get rid of the shell that's on the left cushion. Red on the left cushion.
It's me that's been on white, not you.
I'm on a sugar rush. Very nice to see, yeah. I'm not quite sure what he's got on for a pot now. I think he's got a difficult.
Yeah, he's the top of these reds as we look to the top right corner. Tricky part, he's got to hold the cue ball as well.
Yeah, that was the old problem with tricky, like I said. Is
Where's
that
it going?
Going in?
It's in.
Did that just roll in? Wait, get out here.
Comedy table, isn't it?
Big slice of luck there for Dale. Again, I think he needs it.
That's a nice shot.
He's played that quite nicely. He's got to have to cannon into the yellows here, I think. He's going to have to judge this. He might be able to slip round the back of it here, but no, he's cannoning into them. Very well judged.
Good shot.
Well, he's made the most of that luck.
Before you can blink, it's 8-6.
Yeah, he's looking down the barrel of 9-3 at 9-4 at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah,
now
and then
8-6.
Dale's just pulled it back in the last two. I mean, I don't know, I'm not quite happy with that last frame because it just feels like I just went happy with that red when it just fluked in. I mean, obviously, with it being a breaking dish, I think that's what makes me unhappy about it, to be honest.
Well, I won't lose any sleep over it. It's not your money on the table.
True.
I'm going to get him a copper bag to calm him down.
Right, I think they're having a break after this. We're having a break now, I think.
Yeah, I
so,
think they're having a break now, so we'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. So we'll obviously leave the cameras running and whatnot. So
okay, we'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Cheers.